Mr. Mike McCaul of Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ambassador, for restoring American leadership to the United Nations. We saw, and thank you for participating in the National Security Forum as well as Senator Rubio and myself. I chair the Homeland Security Committee, and over the previous administration, over the last 6 years, I saw the caliphate expand and expand, and nothing was done to stop it. And external operations have been launched out of that region. And now it's become the epicenter for terrorism and the epicenter of probably the greatest humanitarian crisis that we have seen, with millions of refugees in Turkey and in Jordan, as you know, and throughout Europe, which poses a risk as well. I'm very proud of this administration's efforts now to crack down on this terrorist organization. But in the meantime, as we did nothing, Russia went into Syria to get the ports on the Mediterranean. Iran is now in the region. So my question is very simple. What is your strategy to deal with this very, very complicated situation?
I think that it's changing by the day. I think we literally are watching the Syria situation change by the day. I will tell you that I visited Jordan and Turkey recently, just to make sure, as well as Israel, on that Syrian border, to see what the migration was doing, to see exactly how we were dealing with Syrian refugees and how the host countries were dealing with it. Jordan and Turkey have been phenomenal to their refugees. They see it as their duty. What we saw in Jordan is they're giving education, they're giving health care, they're giving a stipend. They do it on a bank card, and whether that refugee goes to a bank or to a grocery store, it's by iScan. They have 0% fraud. And so it's impressive to see what's happening there. Turkey doing very much the same things, but they actually have their Turkish doctors training the Syrian doctors in 3 months so that the Syrian doctors can take care of Syria. If you look, Jordan's taken in 1 million refugees, Turkey's taken in 3 million refugees, but they are feeling the pressure. They're double shifting schools. Jordanians and Turkish children are going in the mornings, Syrians are going in the afternoons. Competition for jobs is starting to be there, but the Syrians are very grateful. They're very entrepreneurial. If you look in the camps, they're creating their own economy with battery repair and alterations and all these types of businesses. So we need to support the host countries because they are doing
if I could just applaud your actions against Assad and what his use of chemical weapons to kill children in a hospital. But as long as he remains in power, propped up by Russia and Iran, this civil war will continue to go on, and that is the root cause of this whole problem, and it won't end, and the refugee humanitarian crisis won't end until I think that problem is dealt with.
Well, and I think that from the political situation of Syria, what you're looking at is I think that we are certainly making a lot of strides of getting ISIS out. I think it's been aggressive. I think it's going faster than we expected. From that standpoint, it's good. The Iranian influence in Syria is a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem because they're completely backing Assad. Russia's completely backing Iran. And so we're trying to make that separation because that needs to happen. I think the U.S., one of the best things we did was after the chemical weapons program, when the president made that decision to go in and strike, it sent shockwaves throughout the international community, as well as in Syria, to let them know we weren't going to stand for it. And I think the president's held true to any signs of chemical weapon usage. We're going to get involved. Now we're going to have to start looking as a country is what is the U.S. role going to be post-ISIS when ISIS gets out? Because a healthy Syria is not with Assad. You can't have Assad in power with a healthy Syria. And so I think we have to look at it from all levels and realize that a post-ISIS Syria doesn't mean all goes back to where it should be happy and good again. We have to make sure it doesn't stay vulnerable for other terrorists.
Well, it's good to finally see some leadership in that part of the world. And I will say that the Iranians are wedded to Assad. I'm not sure the Russians quite are.
I think they're starting to see him as a liability.
And I think there is an opportunity possibly to work with them to have a graceful exile of Mr. Assad.
I agree with you.
I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.